Morning to all. This is Roopasree, Assistant Professor from Sri Lakshmi Narayana College of Nursing, Department of Medical Surgical Nursing. Here, I'm going to discuss about non-projected aids, bulletin board, cartoon, and flannel board. This is a this is a topic today I'm going to discuss about. So everybody knows about the topic, right? So I'm going to discuss about the introduction. So in introduction, non-projected visual aids are those aids which are used without any projection. It helps the learners to enable him to make learning more concrete, effective, interesting, inspirational, and meaningful. So usually here they are telling about non-projected aids. Usually nothing but these are the aids which are not projected without any aids. Used any projection, they don't have any projection aids measures they used to. So it helps to enable make them to understand everything more effectively. So first we have to discuss about the bulletin board. This is the bulletin board. In bulletin board, we used to discuss about the powerful instruction tool. It is one of the important powerful instruction which is we can use probably we will be using about the information which we need to share with the students or any information those who are working in a administrative whatever they are. So it is an important use method. A bulletin board is a powerful instructional tool that, when utilized properly, can add to a meaningful learning experience to the learners. So it helps the meaningful experience to the learners. As its name implies, it is a safe intended for posting a message or public information. In this board, we can convey a public information. So what are the things we have to convey to the others that we can able to put it in a bulletin board. It's like a small instructional method. Whatever we need to convey, we can place it in on a bulletin board. So, what is the purposes of bulletin board? We come in to move on to the purposes. First purpose is communication of ideas. We will communicate the good information to people who need to convey the information. So, communication is one of the important method. Then giving initial correct compressions. So, giving correct initial impressions. First, it is an important method to convey any kind of information through the bulletin board. Then broaden the sensory experiences. We can able to experience as a sensory experience by visualization. We can able to predict some good information through the eyes. And a variety to classroom activity. So it is one of the creative information to add up the classroom activity. So students initiate their activities in the bulletin board. We can use a timetable, exam scheduling timetable, and other class time information which we need to convey to the students. We can place it in a bulletin board. In our nursing, we can place bulletin board in such instruction like a clinical rotation plan, master rotation plan, timetable, any instruction which they are informed, any new kind of information that can be placed in a bulletin board. Right? Provide information. So it helps to provide information to the students. If your students are going a clinicals now, they don't know what rotation will be next week. So it helps to, if we placed in a bulletin board, the students can able to learn. It helps to save time. So saves time of the students, teachers, and class coordinators, everyone, because it creates a give accurate information. Okay, it helps students to learn how to communicate ideas visually. Helps the students to communicate ideas visually. So it helps to convey good information through the ADX. Then it facilitates the class study of single copy material. We can't able to give more than 100 copies to the students. No, we can able to provide only one set of copy to the bulletin board. It helps to learn the many informations. Okay, then encourage the participation. If you are creating any kind of new information, ask the students to create any signs of new information or new anything we need to convey that to the students. When we can place it in a bulletin board itself, because if you are placed in a bulletin board, students will be easily captured everything. Then provide a review. What type of review can understand means that it helps the students to review about the class. Helps, so we can able to provide a different type of news information to the students. Then principles of bulletin board. What is the principles of bulletin board? The main principle, we have a certain, so far we have discussed about the purposes of bulletin board. Now we move on to the principles of bulletin board. The board for posting notices should be kept separate. So what are the things we have to post it that should be kept separate? So bulletin board should be in a separate form. And the appearance should be neat, orderly, and attractive. So the bulletin board should be very neat. There should not be no clumsiness, though the bulletin board should be very neat, order. So it's a good method to attract the students. We can able to gain a good adequate information to the students. All materials should be appropriately classified and labeled for future references. So what are the things we will be placed in a bulletin board? We can be used for a future references. But in this principles of bulletin board, we have to keep that everything very safe manner, because that only we can able to maintain a file works. Then the contents of the board should be labeled around the central theme of the content. The content of the board should be labeled. So what are the things we can be placed? We should keep a separate file. So for example, any kind of news references in nursing, we will provide a new information to the students regarding a mnemonic, new terminologies. If you are placing now, we have to keep that, maintain a file work for central theme of contents. Material should be dated to ensure that it does not remain no longer than the same. So we have to maintain by the date work. If you are maintaining this work, if you are maintaining file work for inspection, whatever things will be coming, so we have to maintain the file work simultaneously. Then material should be changed frequently and systematically. So monotonously, we should not keep a bulletin board the same information again and again. We have to repeatedly, we have to change it. Then only students will be able to gain a adequate knowledge regarding this content. Okay. Then the contribution should be well labeled. We have to assign the students for the teamwork. We have to call out the students to ask them to provide a new information regarding nursing terminologies, new equipments, new services provided in the communities area. So we have to ask the students to get adequate information. So the contribution of the students should be effectively needed. The responsibility for ending the board should be placed on one person. So we should not allow everyone to take care of the bulletin board. We have to ask only one single students to come forward to maintain a bulletin board, because only one responsibility should be handed over throughout the bulletin board instructions. Everyone should be held responsible for reading and knowing what is on the board, because if we are placing in a classroom, students should learn about the responsibility. Everyone should be held responsible for reading, knowing what is it on the board, because students should be learn everything accurately. So we have to give equal responsibility for the students. So there will be a types of bulletin board. We will see one by one. What is the types of bulletin board? Any ideas? Because the bulletin board is the only information to create a to capture everyone's heart. So types of bulletin board, it comes at felt board. What is meant by felt board? Felt board means it helps the students to learn in pre-KGs, kindergarten, Mont sections. They'll be using a felt board in school services in academic purposes. What is mean by magnetic board? So magnetic board is a board which will be placed in now school students, because some magnetic power will be back of the banner, so that we can able to provide information regarding the color coding. If you are placing the students in cages, means they can able to identify the colors, shapes, it's like ABCD fonts. They helps to learn the students quickly. Then pegboard. So pegboard is nothing but there will be lots of thousands of pins will be the thousands of holes will be in a board. So it helps the students to draw or capture whatever the thing. It helps to pinpoint the things which they will wear or which they have to use for a future references. And plastic board. So plastic board is nothing but it's just simultaneously board will be placed in a wall. We can able to pin the information in a plastic board itself. Then soft board. So what is meant by soft board? Soft board is a clean instruction which can be used for a future references. Here also they will be cleaned up in principal room, office, or software. Whatever the instruction we are maintaining, administration we are running, we have to keep the soft board because what are the things we have to do, that the string should be placed in a soft board. Then what come to the characteristic of bulletin board? What is the characteristics of bulletin board? Bulletin board is the display panel typically made of cork, fabric or other materials where messages, notes, pictures and other visuals can be pinned or posted. It's a has a hub of information and communication and allowing individuals to share and access important announcements, memos, and reminders easily. So, coming to the characteristic of bulletin board is a display panel. Usually, it typically how it is made up of means cork. Okay, then they made up of fabric. So the bulletin board should be covered in a fabric. Then other material should be kept to decorate the bulletin board simultaneously. Where we are pasted the messages, notes, pictures, and other visual aids can be pinned. So pinned by or pinned or posted. This is one of the main characteristic of the bulletin board. Then it serves as a hub of information. It is the main of the theme of mass information will be based in a bulletin board only. It helps the individual to seek more knowledge and gain more knowledge in the important announcements, memos, and reminders easily. So how we use a bulletin board? Next we know about so far we have discussed about bulletin board types, bulletin board purposes, bulletin board principles. Now we discuss about characteristics. Now I will discuss about the use of bulletin board. So what is the first instruction as a teacher we need is teachers must collect suitable instruction for the instrumental objects projects. So teachers has to collect the suitable instructions. What are the instruction has been given? What are the things we need to place? So they should be our adequate knowledge regarding the suitable instructions or instruments. Okay. Then teacher must also clarify and file the material beforehand. The teacher has to clarify before we are pasting in a bulletin board. As a teacher, we have to check the students to learn about which the material they are going to place in a bulletin board. We have to overview the points, then only we can able to put it in on a bulletin board. Then arrange the material in an interesting manner. We have to arrange the material in an interesting manner. We should not keep a only timetable, clinical rotation plan, master rotation. We have to create a new mnemonic for it. For example, if we are using for example, we are using some this is condition we are sharing means in sharing in this is condition, which one is the important thing we have to remember throughout the disease condition. So that point should be kept in a separate and creative manner. We have to use color harmony. We can use the different colors to attract the students' eyes. Then only they can able to know about the what matter comes under the points. Then teachers must encourage the pupils to observe as well as contribute to the bulletin board. As the teacher, we have to contribute to the students. What are the things they have to bring out? What are the things they need to see? So these are the things they should be contribute to the bulletin board. Then the bulletin boards must be in nursing field. If we are placing a bulletin board in a nursing institution or in nursing education, we have to remember these points. In classroom teaching, it is useful for displaying the unit plans in the corridor and library purposes. In classroom teaching, it's useful for displaying the unit plans. We can use for the unit plans, which faculty will be allotted for this units. So in a corridor itself, we can place in library, they will be use it for a future references. In outpatient clinic, patient education will be facilitated by appropriate use of bulletin boards. In patient's clinic, the patient's education must be facilitated. What are the things has been facilitated? Appropriate. We have to use it appropriately for the bulletin board. In educational use of bulletin board, what is the main educational use of bulletin board? It provides interest among the learners. It gives the accurate information. Then it provides interest to the learners. Okay, ma'am. Then attractive platform for the display for all type of creative work of the student. It creates attractive display. So attractive platform for the display. It makes all creative work for the students. Specific announcements concerning the school or college, curricular and co-curricular activities may be carried out through it. In case of we are conveying any leaves, any vacation holidays, any kinds of academic activities, we can place over the bulletin board so that it can be remind for all the students where the date will be. So when the vacation started, when again the college reopen, these are the things. For example, they will place a result announcement also. So what are the announcements they need to convey? They will be placed in a bulletin board. Effective use of bulletin board. What is the effective use of bulletin board? After using of bulletin board, what is the main effectiveness? Display should be assigned to the class teachers. So display should be assigned. What type of display that will be assigned? So what is the display? They will provide a kind of news information. Any events they should be participated. That also we can place in a bulletin board. So class teachers should be assigned for the students to monitor the students effectively. That valuable things should be displayed. Only the valuable things only displayed. They should not place something useless things and all. We should not never allow students to use the bulletin board. Avoid crowding or display messaging. If we are, what is the main use means we should not clumsily, we should not provide some other things on a display board. We should never keep display boards in a crowding manner. It should be bold, large enough to be seen from a reasonable distance by the viewers. It should be bold. So what are the things we have to place in a bulletin board? That should be very clear, very bold, and very large enough to be seen. If your students are placing more than 20 feet also, the bulletin board instructions will be clearly visible. It is only for the students' purposes. Those who are seeing that should be in a creative purpose. Then we should place it in a adhesive materials like pins, bands, sands are used in such way. So what if we are pasted in a paper in a proper manner that can be used for a future occurrences. The display material, especially the news items, current information and announcements should be updated from time to time. Time to time, we have to announce the informations. We have to update and we have to inform the current information. What are the current ethical issues came? What is the rights of patients? These are the thing we have the current announcement. What the usual current announcement should be updated from the time to time. It should be specific educational significance. What is the specific educational significance? In specific educational significance, we can properly useful for the students to refer more things effectively. It should be create a good impression on the mind of the viewers. If you are pasted in a colorful, bold, and harmony manner, students will able to learn and they will store the content in our mind itself. So what is the advantages of bulletin board? Usually the advantages of bulletin board. The bulletin board sometimes serves to inspire and motivate. Bulletin board sometimes it helps to inspire and motivate the students to learn more activities and they're usually more participating. Okay, in a workplace environment, bulletin board can save time and productivity. In workplace environment, if you are working in a workplace environment, bulletin boards can save. It helps to save time and productivity. Okay, wow. So, what is the main disadvantages for bulletin board? What are the disadvantages we are getting while using a bulletin board? It's careful selection. We have to select the content thoroughly. We should not paste anything unnecessarily. So we have to check the content, the whether the information is accurate, whether the information is true. So that are the things we have to check it for a bulletin board before posting the things or information on the bulletin board. It's take lots of pre-planning and preparation. Bulletin board content should be very pre-planned and it's take lots of time. Very time consuming process. It take more time to complete everything within a time. So far, we have discussed about the bulletin board. So, bulletin board purposes, principles, characteristics, types, advantages, disadvantages. What are the things should be posted in bulletin board? That's all the things we have discussed. And now we move on to the topic that is called cartoon. So, everybody knows about cartoon. So, cartoon is an important non-projected aids which can be used for students to learn more knowledge and they can able to store everything in their mind easily. Right. So what is meant by cartoon? The word cartoon has various meanings based on several very different form of visual act and an illustration. The term has evolved over time. So Usually, cartoon is a several meaning we can able to. It is a visual or an illustration. And the original meaning was the fine art. And the cartoon made by preparatory drawing for a piece of art such as painting. In cartoon, they will create any kind of information. If you're they are telling any kind of information, they will draw the cartoon and the pictorized form. It helps the students to learn very things easily. And this is the main important for the cartoon. Then definition. We move on to the definition of cartoon. Cartoon is a humorous caricature which gives a suitable message. So it is important humorous. It's really funny things. We can able to pictorize the cartoon effectively, caricature. So it's suitable message only they will convey. Okay, in cartoon, the features of objects or people are exaggerated along with the generally recognized symbols. We can predict some characters also by using different types of visuals, animations, and helps students to learn simple everything. Okay, so what is the purposes of cartoon? Why we are using cartoon? So the main purpose, they are primarily designed for capturing the attention of the targeted group. It is the only seeking and capturing a good information through the public is the only method is cartoon. So it's primarily designed only for the attention of the target group. Second one is their successful tool for student motivation and promotion of learning. So they are successful tools. What are the things they will be learned? It is a motivational purposes and promotion of learning experiences through the bulletin board. They create humor, fantasy among the learners. So it helps to create a humor sense toward the students and fantasy world. So fantasy world is also one of the different dream world we can use to be. If we can dream over the things which we can't able to imagine, so it helps to reduce the stress of the learners. Okay, ma'am? It can able to reduce the stress. Okay, in kindergartens everyone should place only in the cartoons. No, so if you are telling a rhymes also, it can be in a visual form or in a cartoon form. A single cartoon can easily present multiple ideas and concepts. A single cartoon easily usually represent a multiple ideas and concepts. They produce a multiple ideas. What are the ideas they have to be used? In multiple ideas and concepts can be used. They trigger innovative thinking in the learners. They trigger innovative thinkings. They like how they will be used in the old and ancient period, in traditional ancient period. What are the things they have to convey? That all this should be in a pictorized form. They can present the educational content in an interesting manner. They can able to prevent they can able to minimize the content in an educational format also. For example, I told you, to capturing the kids' heart, they will use to do the rhymes in a cartoon form. So, what is the main sources of cartoon? Newspaper carry cartoons daily, which are either political or social in nature. So, what are the things they have to convey through the public? They also draw the pictures in the political information. Also, they will give through the cartoon manners. So, in every newspaper, we used to see, what are the information they will be. Many main instruction they will be provided only in a cartoon manner. So special periodicals and magazines carry cartoons, can science, management, economic and education. So these are the things can be used only for a special management purposes. It helps to show about the economical management issues to the students. So what is the limitation of cartoon? What may be our limitations? First limitation is skilled specialist is required. Only for cartoon, skilled specialist is required. None other, we can't able to minimize a make a video. We can't able to do any kind of cartoons. No? So it's needed a skilled persons. Then many educational topic can be presented only through cartoons. In time of many education cartoon, in time of education, we have the only main purposes and non-educated habits used only for cartoon things. Sometimes distract the students. Sometimes what is the limitations means we need only the students to see only the visuals. They should not take a content what they're telling through the buttons. So this is the important distract the students. Nil, we discuss about the, so far we have discussed about the cartoon. Okay, so cartoons, then cartoons definition, purposes of cartoon, sources of cartoon, then limitations of cartoon. Now we move on to the flannel board. So what is mean by flannel board? Flannel board is just a simple board which can be used to wood, made up of wood. In that wood, they can be covered with the woolen cloth. That is called as flannel board. Okay, it's simple. So according to the Basavantappa book, textbook of CET, the flannel board is a display board made up of wood, cardboard or straw board covered with colored flannel or woolen cloth. A flannel board is a display board. It is one of the display board made with the wood, and they will cover the board with the woolen cloth. That is first definition. We move on to the second definition. Flannel board or felt board is a rigid surface covered with the cotton flannel, wool, tiny cloth or felt cloth. This is definition which was said by the Womenology College of Nursing. Then we move on to the purposes of flannel craft. So what is the flannel craft? That is called, it improves the visual aids and facts. It helps to visualize the facts, visual things, which are the things we have to convey. That are the things should be left in a visual arts. Okay, wow. Then easy understanding. What is the easy understanding method we can follow through the flannel graph? Then auditory. In auditory, we used three methods. Three methods of flannel graph: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. So in auditory, the learners can hear the content displayed on the board read by someone. In case if a person is going on the side, they in flannel board they used to put some information. Some of the person can be heard by someone else. So that is the main auditory. Then what is mean by visual? Visualize the display content. So what is the visual content? In visual content, they can able to, if they are seeing in a file board any information, they can be easily registered. Okay, so it can be used for the future references. What are the things they will remember that can be used for the educational or academic activities. In kinesthetic, display pieces of information. They information can be displayed. So what are the information means? It is a piece of information can be displayed all in the small forms. So how we will prepare the panel group? What are the articles needed for the panel group? The main material is plywood, thick plywood or hardwood or thick cardboard. These are the three main. Making a panel group, we have to use a plywood, hardwood or thick cardboard. Actually usually size with the 120 into 80 centimeter. That is the main accurate for the panel graph. It is the main important sizes for the panel graph. Panel or felt material cloth which is dark colored. A panel or a plant filled material cloth which is a dark colored. We have to choose the panel board in a dark color. For example, dark red, dark blue, dark black, or dark green. These are the things we can use only in a dark forms. And scissors, we have to use to cut the woolen cloth. No? So we need a scissors and glue or adhesive tape. For pasting the woolen cloth, we have to use a glue or adhesive tapes. So what is the advantages of panel graph? So what is the advantages? The main advantages of the panel graph is saves time during presentation. In panel graph, we are basing it in a panel graph now. They can able to save time. During presentation, we can able to tell this is this like that we can able to tell. And it is inexpensive. We should not it is not cost expensive. It is really inexpensive, easily accessible, or it can be used by anyone and holds the attention of audience. It helps to hold the attention of the audience to by learn easily and ideal for exhibiting the dramatic storytelling. In case of starting a dramatic storytelling, it can be used for the students for the learner. Keep students well motivated. It helps to keep the students to well motivated regarding the panel group. Then effectively used for a small group. And what are the effectively used for small group now? In case of 20 or students or 50 small in small group, it used for a small group student. In panel board, we can't able to predict a large group. So we move on to the disadvantages of panel. What is the disadvantages? The main disadvantages, it requires considerable advantage preparation. What is the considerable advantage preparation? It requires more time because we can't do it within a minute. We have more time to reduce the make the wood and play woolen cloth. We have to buy the adhesive tapes, everything. So it helps to time make a few times. If the pictures are not probably placed, it may fall in between. If the pictures are not placed properly, sometimes it's fall. But when we need it, that time only the pictures can be followed inappropriately. Then it cannot be used for the logic. The main disadvantages is only for a small group. It should not cover a large group. That is the panel graph. Any queries? So far we have discussed about the non-projected leads, bulletin board, cartoon, and fan board. In introduction, we have discussed about the bulletin board. Bulletin board is nothing but we have to place information on which are the things we have to convey the student. We can place over the bulletin board, and we see about the purposes, principles, types of bulletin board, and we see about the characteristic of bulletin board methods, and nursing education. What are the things it will be used for the nursing educations, and disadvantages, advantages. Then move on to the cartoons. We discuss about the cartoons, cartoon definition, purposes, and sources, limitations. In Flannel board, we discuss about the definition, purposes, preparation, how we will prepare the Flannel graph, and advantages and disadvantages. So it will be very useful for the students to gain a topic regarding non-projected needs. Thank you. So I have referred the textbook of B.T. Baswantappa Nursing Education, first edition, and K.P. Neruja's textbook of Nursing Education. These are the two textbooks we have referred for the preparation. Thank you.